Well guys, by simply tweaking your RAM, you can get all the way up to 20% more performance on Ryzen 7000 and 9000. So here we are with a basic RAM tweaking guide for AM5. Any CPU on the AM5, be it an X3D chip or a normal chip, you can do this on and gain free performance. Now, little disclaimer, okay? This is not gonna be properly an overclocking tutorial because we are actually going to be focusing on something else other than the frequency, but it's going to be the most important things. Now, another thing is, if you've seen my other tutorials about undervolting, overclocking, you can do these and also follow this RAM tweaking tutorial and combine them and basically get an undervolted CPU with also tweaked RAM, okay? You can do both, no problem. I'm gonna do this on my personal system, which is an AM5 system with an X670p motherboard. Right now for the tutorial, I have a Ryzen 9 7900X. I've also tried this on plenty of other CPUs, so you can rest assured. You have to promise me one thing before we go into the BIOS and get started, okay? So if the video ends up being helpful, you will drop a like and a sub to the channel to support me. So let's go into the BIOS, let's get started. Okay, so here we are in the BIOS. Now again, I have an MSI motherboard, but this is gonna work for every single motherboard out there, no matter the maker. Now we wanna go into the advanced options and go into the overclocking section right here. Now the first thing we need to do, okay, is find your EXPO or XMP, basically your RAM default overclocking, and enable that, okay? After you've enabled it, you wanna go into Windows and actually test that your EXPO is stable, because if you're starting from an unstable point, it's gonna be very hard to determine stability. So first thing I need to do, enable this 6000 MHz profile, just go test it out. After we've done that, we can come back here and actually start tweaking. So let's go ahead. First off, little disclaimer on the FCLK. If you've seen especially my AM4 RAM tweaking tutorial, basically, you probably think that things have to be synchronized to get the most out of your system, but that's not the case on AM5. So the FCLK is no longer bound to the UCLK and to basically the RAM itself. So the FCLK, the higher it's better. So we want to start from 2000 MHz. So if you want to just copy my settings, you can just put 2000 in. And then if you get more out of it, it's going to be free performance. So generally, you're going to be able to get 2100 MHz right on the edge of stability. And it's also what I'm going to show you the settings for. So to start, I say let's put 2000, and then later I'm going to show you for 2100. Okay. UCLK Div1 mode, you want to put it equal to memclock. And now this is going to be very, very important for the frequency. Now, I recommend all of you guys aim for a 6000 MHz DRAM frequency. Do not go higher, do not go lower, okay? Aim for 6000. 6000 with UCLK equal to memclock. If you go and get like 6200, for example, on some motherboards, you will go out of sync with the Div1 mode and you're gonna be losing performance, okay? So just skip this one. Memory context restore. This basically, you need to enable it if you want your system to boot quickly, but for the time being, you can keep it disabled if you wanna just have your system tweak the RAM better, if it makes sense. But then once you have a stable overclock, just enable it. It's gonna make the boot quicker. Now, we then wanna go into the advanced RAM configuration, and here we're gonna have the timings to play around with. So what happens is frequency is not the only driver of performance. As a matter of fact, lower timings are actually gonna drive the performance higher than higher frequency, especially on Ryzen. So 6000 MHz is gonna be the sweet spot for Ryzen, but then the lower the timings, the better the performance, with no limits. So if you can get like 20 latency, it's gonna run crazy good, okay? But of course, it's gonna be very difficult. Now, for the timings, I'm gonna tell you, the best thing you can do is just copy the timings from another RAM kit. So in my system right now, I have some Team Group T-Force Delta RAM, 6000 MHz. So if I want to just copy the timings, my best choice would be to go online and basically look at better timings for my RAM from a better kit. So if I had like a 5200 MHz RAM EXPO, I should go online, look for the timings of a 6000 MHz and copy them. So in my case, if you want to copy mine, these are for 6000 MHz. So if you have some RAM which is team group T-Force Delta and it's lower frequency, you can just copy these. But if you want to just copy some settings, some high performance settings to start from 6000 MHz RAM and tweak it better, so if you already made the right purchase choice of buying a 6000 MHz kit, okay, I'm gonna put on the screen Buildzoid's timings, okay, so I've took them from his tutorial. If you want to have a very in-depth tutorial, go check out the Buildzoid video. He's great, one of the best overclockers out there. I'm just doing a quick guide for more beginners and intermediate users. If you want to see the advanced stuff, go check out his channel. He knows a lot. But anyways, this is it for the timings. You can just copy his for maximum performance or just copy some run-of-the-mill timings like mine to get 6000 MHz working. What I recommend, especially if you do not have 6000 MHz, I recommend you just basically copy a CL40, which is pretty high latency, kit timings and just put them in. Whereas if you have 6000s already, use the Buildzoid timings, the ones you see on the screen right now. This is it for the timings, but timings are the easy part because we just want to copy them. Again, if you want to spend time just finding your own timings, it can take you like up to a week, even 2 weeks to just tweak your RAM. And I don't think it's time well spent. So I recommend you just copy them. And let's go ahead with the other settings, okay? So we now want to work on the voltages. Now the voltages are going to be what actually make or break DRAM tweaking set, pretty much. So here's what I recommend you set. Core voltage is just your CPU voltage, you want to leave it alone. The SoC voltage is what we want to play with. So this, you want to put 1.3. So put it on override mode and just put 1.3. It's going to be red, no worries. Just as you can see, my motherboard, it's already 1.3 with the stock XMP profile, so you don't have to worry about it, okay? VDDG, voltage control. Now the first thing you want to set is your VDD-IO and VDD-Q. Now these, you want them synchronized, okay? So if you have the same exact voltage, it's going to work better. Specifically, you want VDD equal to VDD-Q and equal to VDD-IO. Now I find this is what works. If I desync them, some motherboards do not even allow me to desync them, and some others just, it's harder to find stability. So VDD-Q, just put 1.25, and now in my motherboard, it's gonna automatically synchronize it with VDD-IO, as you can see, which is grayed out. So we want 1.25 on both. Now DRAM voltage, I've heard, and actually check this, it seems to be the case, that if you sync it up with the VDD-Q, VDD-IO, it helps. Okay, but look at what happens. On the actual DRAM voltage, you can go pretty easily, pretty safely, all the way up to 1.4, okay? On my kit, it is 1.25, but some RAM kits really scale with voltages. So if you're looking for stability, your system is crashing, what you can try is put 1.4. As you can see, my system is gonna sync up VDD-Q, VDD-IO, but 1.4 on those, it's way, way too high. So I wanna go back and put 1.25 on these, and if I do it in this order, it's gonna allow me to desync them, as you can see. So I can now run 1.4 there, 1.25 on the VDD-Q, VDD-IO. This is what I recommend. Well, actually, I recommend you keep the voltage as low as possible, but if you're looking for stability, this is what you can do to try and achieve it, of course. Now, VPP, generally, 1.85 is pretty close to stock, which is what my profile is doing, but you can get away with 1.8. And I recommend you do it. You can save some heat, save some strain just by doing that. But if it's not stable, sure, go 1.85, no problem. Now at this point, the only other important voltage which we are missing is the VDDG. To be specific, the VDDG CCD. So we want to go into here. Now in my motherboard, you need to put it on global. And now on the global VDDG CCD voltage, pretty long name, you want to put 1.050, and now this helps a lot with stability, okay? Whereas on the VDDG IOD, you want to put 0.95. I wouldn't go higher, it's not really useful. Even on this, you can get away with 0.95 generally. 1.050 is what I recommend. If you're really trying to push your FCLK higher, you're probably gonna need it. So this you need to do if you basically want to push this to 2100. And this is what I was referring to at the beginning. So this is basically it. Now, the only thing I don't like is such a high voltage for this profile, but if I do this, it means it's unstable with less. But basically, 6000 megahertz RAM, you copy the timings, which are now tight. You have your FCLK to 2100, UCLK equal to mem clock. You gave it a little bit of SoC voltage extra. You adjusted those sub voltages to make everything stable, and your RAM is now finally tweaked. Again, it is not as easy as an undervolting tutorial. It's a bit more tricky, but again, it's just some guidelines to help you improve your performance. Even if you get just your FCLK dialed in, you get your 6000 megahertz, and you just find the lowest possible of these voltages with a bit of tweaking, your system is going to run so much better. But again, for any questions, you can drop a comment down below, and I hope the video was helpful or at least informative. And again, do let me know, and if it was, remember your promise from the beginning, maybe drop a like and subscribe to the channel for more content. And I hope to see you guys again. Bye bye.